Alright folks, next part of the build is they want us to go ahead and put together the prop. So remember, we have one extra blade, so we're going to set that aside. We'll put that with the extra bits. And we're going to go ahead with these 3 blades and we're going to lay them in there. We got a baggie of screws that comes with it to attach the blades. There's a little divot hole. I don't know if you can see it. There's 1, 2, 3, and that middle one lines up with a peg that's in the seat of this. So that's how you're going to be able to line up your prop blades. That way you're not guessing where everything goes. Just going to use the hand screwdriver right quick to get it started. I'll tack without running in. Run them down, they do stop. You don't, I'm not having any issues with stripping as of yet. So just run them on down. They give you 2 extra screws, so you'll have a couple left over. Just in case you happen to strip one, don't freak out, you got 2 to go. Alright, so my memory card ran out, so I had to kind of pause and download the videos. So went ahead and got the rest of the prop blades on there. What I want you to notice is how well they seat in there. When I initially tightened them down, there was a gap. So I had to go back and just put a little bit more effort in to tighten them down. And you want to make sure they seat in there all the way, no gaps. So if you have gaps, you're going to have misaligned props and you're going to have problems. Don't want that. Be careful in over tightening them though, because they will strip the plastic out down in here, and that would be bad news. Something else to point out is it's keyed for a hex head, and your prop adapter has a hex head on it. So we're going to go ahead and line those up. And it should just pop right on. They cover should just snap right on top of that without any effort or minimal effort. Alright, so that's on. And then the prop hub, Dambit said that his came unglued, but some 5-minute epoxy fixed that pretty quick. I want to give it a try. If it breaks, I'll epoxy it. But this actually just screws right on. That's how it's all held in place. Just crank her down. And that's it. Prop is on. Easy. Next up are the guns. The short ones go to the inside. There's a little molded patch here on the plane. The longer ones go further out by the landing gear. and you have a pitted tube that goes out on the starboard wing that will go in. There's little spikes on there that'll hold it in place. So if you want to pre-puncture those before you glue them in, that'll help things out. That's what I'm going to do. So these are directionally, wing relevant. They gradually get larger towards the fuselage, so you want to make sure you're using the right ones on the right side. Seems to be something in the way of this one seating all the way in, like a plastic spar or something in there in the leading edge. So it's only on this one, so I'm going to snip that one off because I want it to seat all the way in its place without any issues. This one has it too, but it's just barely in there, so I'm just going to snip the tip. I'm going to circumcise it, if you will. It sits flush, no problems. Let's do the other small one. Once I get all these pre-fit, I'll go back and glue them. Same issue with this one, so I'll just snip it. This one just needs the tip. All right. This one goes on this wing. Goes on there. Goes on there. Last but not least, the pitted tube. There it is. So once you get them pre-punctured and ready for install, just dab them with some glue and let them dry. So I'm going to do that right quick, and I guess I'm going to come back and we'll go over the decal installation. Or no, we'll hook up the control surfaces. We'll go over that, and then we'll do the decals last. I'm looking in the instructions and I'm not seeing anything standing out as to deflection on this, so I might be missing something here. I'll go back and read a little bit more on the instructions and make sure I'm not missing the throw rates or anything. Otherwise I'll probably just have to guess. So anyway, once I glue these, I'll be back. Alright, we're back. Got the guns glued on. They're still kind of drying. I used the supply glue, and it's going to be a little bit, but what I am going to do, I want to spin the plane around here so we can work on it. And hopefully get it to where everybody can see. I'm going to adjust the camera angle a little here. There we go. Hopefully y'all can see better as to what's going on. So you have an ailerons pack, a flap pack, we have a pack of extra bits, we have our elevator pack that was stapled to the elevator horn, or the elevator bag, and we have our rudder that I left stapled to the bag, so I knew who was who and what went where. So let's start off with the aileron bag. And we're just going to dump out all the contents here. We have extra clevises. The control rods already have clevises on them, so we're just going to set those to the side. We have our control horns and their corresponding back plates. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, which is funny. We have 3 of one size and 3 of another size. I'm not entirely sure why it's that way, because, you know, typically I'd use 4 screws all the way through, but there's not enough for that. I'm not sure why they're different sizes. The book is not specific on that at all, so what I'm going to use is the longer ones for the front and the shorter ones for the trailing edge of the control surface, so that I make sure I make it all the way through. And feeling what's coming through on the other side, that's probably a decent assumption. I put, the way these are set up, there's a part like a shelf on here, and those actually go into a pre-set hole, and that's your bolt area. That's where your screws are going to screw into the surface at. So I'm just going to use the hand screwdriver on this one. I don't need to zip it down with any force or anything. Just relax and enjoy the process on this one. Now, something that they didn't provide that I wanted to go back and do is there's no fuel tubing to go over the clevis to hold it tight. So I'm going to go in and I want to put fuel tubing on there to do that. Something else to note is that I unscrewed it far enough to go into the next to the top hole. That way I'm not getting 100% deflection that is possible on this. I'm just down 1 notch. I like to fly scale, and that's just going to be my guess, since again I have no direction from the directions. So that's it's just the way I'm going to do it. Let me come over here and do this other side real quick. Alright everybody, I'm back, and I've got it trimmed in. I've got my dual rate set, so she is ready to go. I'm really impressed with this plane. Looks great. Once I got some bugs worked out, it taxied fine. I had a lot of toe in this wheel, and it was like way out to the left. And so it was tracking sideways down the road. I had to go in and make some adjustments, but I think we are there. Added the antenna to the fuselage and got all the control surfaces hooked up. So I think that's pretty much it. I did have an accident with the plane, and I think that needs to be known that while I was programming the ESC, or I'd already programmed the ESC and I was checking for function with the prop on, you know, everybody, once you get the plane completed, you just want to kind of bump it a little bit, just see what it does. Well, my programming was off, and when I bumped it, it just kind of sputtered and didn't really turn. And so I bumped it again and it still didn't do anything. And the third time I did it, I gave it an extra big bump, and when I did, it chewed up my kneecap. So give you a second, let you look at the picture, and so you can see what not to do. Did you like that? That was gross, wasn't it? So, anyway, that's what stupid looks like. And just want you to know, I'm heading up that club starting this month. We have monthly meetings of stupid shit we've done. So, anyway, on to other things. I do want to take apart this strut for you. So before I do that, I'm going to disconnect the battery. Still haven't found the best way to lift this up. I'm not a big fan of lifting by this, but it seems like the only thing that's working thus far. So get that disconnected. Transmitter off.